he had arthritis in his hand, and his hand was stuck like this.
Okay.
And he couldn't move it.
Okay.
So he had me tattoo the image of Christ holding his hand like this with the Sacred Heart on the inside of his forearm upside down.
Shit.
And he goes, but make him bald like me.
No.
And it looked like him dressed as Jesus going like this when he held his arm up, and it was a tattoo of him doing the same exact thing.
So good.
That
dude.
was a wild one. Yeah.
Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast with your host, Craig Casamas and Big J Curran.
Well, we were just talking about it at first. We didn't really know what direction to take that in. That could have gone in a couple different directions.
Right.
I've seen it with red hands, and it just depends. And then we were just looking at images, and that was the one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And she was like, "That's one."
Yeah. Yeah. No, she's stoked, dude.
Yeah, it was
Like
cool.
I said, she got home. I think that wrap lasted about 2 hours, and she's like, "I got to look at it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, man."
That's great.
Yeah, it was great,
I'm happy
dude.
to hear that.
Yeah. Anyway,
I love those wraps they do now.
oh, the sanded derm stuff.
It's the best, man.
Yeah.
It is such a game changer.
Yeah, because you were doing it for a while, but now you're not, right?
Well, I've had people with just mixed feelings about it,
Yeah.
and to have it in shop and have it there, and have like 1 of 4 people want it, just wasn't really
Yeah.
an extra thing I needed to have
Right,
around.
right. Yeah.
Why
So,
do people not want it?
I've had some people have like not knowing that they had adhesive allergy, and then
Oh, okay.
and then you find out the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just felt it's personal choice at this point.
Yeah.
So you can go buy that now.
Yeah.
At like most
Anywhere.
major
Yeah.
drugstores, you
Yeah.
can carry a version of it.
Right, right.
And you can go, and I just give it to you as personal choice. If that's
Oh,
something you
okay,
want to
cool.
opt into, just follow the directions and do it right. But I mean, I'm still an advocate for soap, water, and lotion. I just feel
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's because I had it. You put it on my hand, and I totally fucked my hand up over it. Because I was like, "What is this bag
That was-
of water?"
that was the
Yeah.
I know, look at
tripping
a
out.
blood bag, right?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?" And I'm not real easy on my hands anyway. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
So
Yeah, I
No,
can see.
that's it. When
Yeah.
I don't know how this is.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah,
We're gonna start
yeah.
now.
Yeah. The healing aspect of my hand and
Right.
the work I do and all the stuff that goes on in my life. Like we've talked about, I'm just so glad that I actually don't have any scabs or cuts or anything on
Right,
my
yeah.
hand. It's so unusual. There's always something fucked up with my hands. Man.
right.
Well, at least you're not the guy that makes the pizza dough.
For sure, dude.
Well, there's a little sauce in that dough. I don't know what's going on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, man. So, JoJo, how long have you been tattooing?
So I started in 1992.
Okay,
So I would guess this October will
Wow.
be 31 years.
31 years. Crazy, man.
It's come a long ways. I mean, we kind of started talking about that earlier. That,
Yeah.
how tattoo shops used to open up at 5:00 in the afternoon and close at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And now you make appointments for 10:00 in the morning, and everybody's at home at 8:00.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
it's
you go in
definitely
there-
changed a little bit. I mean, now that I'm older, I'm definitely glad to be home by 8:00 or so anymore. I'm tired after that, but our shop's open from noon until 8,
Yeah.
and sometimes people stay later.
Right.
The old shop I worked at, we were open from noon until 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Sometimes there till 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
When you're young and you have ideas and you have friends that are willing to go for it, you have these passion projects. You
Right.
stay late and try to get better at it. That's just how we did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the clientele's changed quite a bit since 93 as well.
Yeah.
When we first started doing this stuff and being around it, it wasn't everybody got tattoos. And when you went to get a tattoo, it was kind of an event. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm just going to go get tattooed because my mom gave me some money.
Right.
It was like, I've saved up this money, and it was an ordeal. It's like, I'm going to go and we're going to, this is a thing. And
Right.
it just seems a little bit more subdued than it was when we were younger.
It's definitely more subdued, unfortunately, in a couple of ways. I mean, just coming from punk rock and coming from, being a person that grew up with people going, hey, I hope my kid doesn't turn out like that. Or something,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has changed. I mean, but it created a lot of character for me. It gave me thick skin, and it gave me an opportunity to I could deal with criticism and stuff, you know, with on that level. But a lot of people they come in the shop, and nowadays it's more mainstream because the media has opened the floodgates in a sense, where people that would never show up at a tattoo shop normally have one in their living room now on their TV set, and they feel like it's safer now,
Right?
And it's definitely more acceptable now,
Right.
Yeah.
And more people who have art degrees are getting into tattooing rather than pursuing their art career that they went to school for, because there's more demand for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we see it being more difficult with people to sell tattoos because people have a specific thing and a specific idea. A lot of times they're not a creative person, so they don't like to take creative advice. They're still very controlling. So we have to convince them, trust us, just let go a little bit, let go of the ropes. You're going to get the best possible product if you just let the person do what they're going to do.
Yeah. When you and I first talked a couple weeks ago, and I kind of told you what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I told you after that, like, hey, man, like, that's what I'd like to do. But, like, you gave me, like, 2 or 3 ideas of stuff that I was like, well, shit, that sounds really cool as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and because I've gone through so many different artists and different tattoos and stages in my life, I'm pretty open, man. I trust, I see what you do, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, you're not my homie tattooing. Actually, my first tattoo was my cousin when I was 12 years old in a trailer park in the middle of the country in Washington State.
I love that.
And it was DMF. And I told my dad it stood for Dad, Mom, Forever. And my dad immediately laughed at me and told me it was for dumb motherfucker. And he was correct, you know? Yeah.
What was it actually for?
I honestly, I swear to God, I don't remember.
You don't remember anymore?
It's totally my dad's fault because as a child, as I remember being a very, very young child and sitting in the living room watching my dad and his friends tattoo each other and pierce each other. And so it was just like listening to them say, this is how you make ink, and this is how you do the needle, and then this is how you do the tattoo.
Right.
We left and we went, well, we could do that. I got some chess pieces over here, and we got some toothpaste, and so yeah, it turned out fantastic. You know, I was the only 12-year-old around with a tattoo.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. The one thing I will say is that you know, the tattoos I had all gotten in the past before I met JoJo, it was always an uncomfortable situation. You're walking into some fucking shady place, you know, and you're like, you have no confidence in what you want, and then you got a guy that looks like he's been up all fucking night. And when I first met you in Roseman, you had your shop out there. What was that shop called?
American Made.
American Made, that's right, yeah. We walked in out in the middle of a fucking tour, and we're like, hey, there's 12 of us. Can you bang out 12 fucking tattoos today? And he's like, fuck yeah, dude. And like, one thing I really want to compliment you is you make people feel so goddamn comfortable, like immediately, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like an experience you didn't have that before, you know what I mean? You always felt like you were inconveniencing someone with your ideas back in the past, you know?
Yeah, I think that also comes from the camaraderie of we were all coming from, you know, we're all coming from music, you know, we were all coming in it from that angle, and I knew what you guys were doing, and I already was familiar with your band, and I knew what you guys were up to. So like when you showed up, I was more than happy to accommodate that, and we had a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah,
it was also comforting for me.
That's I
because
guess that's
the 12 soccer moms came in, I'd probably fucking wig out and go in the bathroom and down a beer or something. You know what I mean?
Fucking bass brats coming in, you know.
All these guys are piling out of a van, and then clothes they haven't washed in a week and everything, and we're all hanging out in the shop listening to loud music and doing tattoos. That was a great day.
Good day, man.
Blast that day.
Yeah, it was awesome. But I remember thinking like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. Like this is how tattoos are supposed to be. It's supposed to be a fucking fun experience, you know, which was, you know, it was awesome, you know. And so you did American Made, and then now you have 10,000 Waves.
Right. Robert and I opened 10,000 Waves together. It'll be 9 years in July.
Okay. Damn, that's crazy. Time flies, man.
It does, man.
You know?
It's crazy how fast it's gone.
It's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys got fucking killers working at the shop. And every artist I see is fucking incredible. You know?
And that's something else that's like, just in Ventura County, there are so many absolutely nutso artists, man.
Yeah.
And it was like you knew who the 2 people that were really good, and then you knew who the other 10 artists were, but you knew who the 2 or 3 that were, you know, booked out for months and months in advance, and you can't get in to see them. And there was a whole plethora of other people doing tattoos that you could just whatever.
Sure.
And now, if you're not a top quality tattoo artist, man, you're going to be pretty hard pressed. Although
Yeah.
there's still garbage out there, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, a lot of people are getting into the business. You're not going to get any better at this unless you're working.
Right.
Yeah.
Sitting around drawing is not going to make you a better tattooer.
Right.
Interacting with the public, actually doing the tattoos. You know, you have to actually have the machine in your hand. You have to be doing the work, or you're not going to learn anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think being around each other, and you're really, really good, and your partner's really, really good, you start really inspiring each other. And like, look how I blended this in, and look how I did this color on this, and that just makes everybody elevate. You know, I love sitting around listening to shop
Him and
talk.
I started in the same year. He started in 1992 as well, and we are always asking each other at work, like, hey, does this look all right here?
Right.
What's your
Yeah.
opinion about this? And we go back and forth quite a bit. And then when we're
Right.
done with the tattoo, we share it.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
overly compliment each other in
Yeah.
front of the client, like way over the top, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of an inside joke we have, you know?
Yeah.
He calls me an amazing inspiration, and I call him an artist of epic proportions. And
Yes.
we totally
Yes.
screw with each other, but
You're
it's,
an artist of a
Yeah.
generation, dude.
yeah,
My podcast partners of epic proportions for sure.
the voice of a generation.
Yeah.
I'm
That,
the fucking size of a generation.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking
The company that sold you that sweatsuit should be paying you for advertising,
fucking A, buddy.
which is dope, by the way.
I only
You're
do the
welcome.
podcast because I was told I was getting a free jumpsuit.
Free
like
jump.
that.
Yo, dude,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, well, you know.
Have you seen there's a
Thank you for
company
your
in England
service.
that does they sell the sweatsuits from the movie The Gentleman?
Oh no!
Oh my god, dude. I have a hard time with sweatsuits because
Yeah.
my upper half is way, way big and my lower half is thinned out. But if I was proportionally correct like Craig over here, I definitely would be sporting those
Oh, yeah,
sweatsuits,
dude.
man.
Yeah. Well,
You
this is
gotta
my
check
first
'em out,
tracksuit I
JoJo.
ever bought, dude, and I'm gonna fucking
Those glasses and then one of those track suits and some good kicks, man. And
Mhm. You
it's
fucking styling,
on
bro.
point.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the one thing I think about all the time is that, you know, I watch you interact with, you know, the guys in your shop that are apprenticing, or I mean, you have a few apprentices or guys that are not anymore, right?
Not at this shop.
But you got some newer guys.
We have some
right?
newer people. Like when I say newer now, I think the newest person there's been with us well over a year now.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh wow.
But we've had Karen's been with me for 15 years,
Right.
or more,
Yeah.
maybe 16 now.
Right.
And Manny's been with us since we opened the shop. He was
Right.
working a couple days a week with us when we first opened.
Yeah.
And Natalia's been with us 5 or 6 years
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Uh,
she's incredible.
Yeah, and
does-
Shadon's been with us a little over a year, like a year and a half almost.
Yeah.
And at the shop we have another guy named Mike who's also really
Okay.
good, and Mike's been with us for probably 5 or 6 years.
Okay. Yeah.
And we got a guy named Ross who works with us. Who's
Damn, I didn't realize that many
and
people.
Ross has been guesting with us as he was like a resident guest artist for a while. He would work
Right.
a day or two a week, and now he's there about 4 days a week, and
Oh, okay.
he only does Japanese bodysuits.
Oh, really?
he does.
Wow.
Full
So
suits.
all you're gonna see from this guy is just big Japanese bodysuits. If it's not that, he doesn't do it,
Really?
and he's busy.
Yeah, I
But
bet.
it was consistency. I watched him for a few years, like really struggle to get that going.
Yeah, I
But
bet.
now that snowball's rolling, and he's doing great.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome, man. But I you know, I love like, because you went through the old school true apprenticeship, fucking learning from the ground up, right? I mean, you and like back in the day when you got started, you know what I mean? It's,
Like making needles and putting stuff together.
oh
and
yeah.
is that stuff still happening, or does everyone think there's a fast track in now?
There's a novelty to that now.
Is there?
I mean, the fact that we know how to do it
Yeah,
is a great thing. I think learning it's important.
right,
I think if you don't learn your equipment or you don't understand it,
right.
but it's kind of a thing of the past. There's
Is
people
it?
that are still passionate about it that will keep that going.
Yeah,
But with the younger generations, it's very plug and play now.
that's what it seems like.
You can
yeah.
buy these like little wireless tattoo machines and disposable equipment or whatever,
Mhm.
and it turns into pretty much a I don't know. It's effortless.
Yeah. But as far as the mentality in the shop, apprentices were fucking grunts. You know what I mean? Back in the day,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, you guys, it was almost like you were a prospect for a club at some point, right?
Yeah. I mean,
You were torturing people.
I was
Not
there.
you, but
I was
you
there.
got tortured.
I was
probably.
there. I was working. I was trying to stay busy, but
Yeah.
I was also screwing up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being told by customers that they weren't happy with the work. I mean, there was a lot of school of hard knocks when I was learning.
I bet, man.
We didn't have all the internet and all that stuff like they
Yeah.
have now. You can watch a video or listen to your favorite tattoo artist do an interview like online or
Right,
whatever. And
right.
you can see all that stuff now. It's so inspirational. Back then, we just had to buy a magazine, read the article. Hopefully,
Pray to God you
got a
picked up
magazine
something.
that featured 2 or 3 artists,
Mm-hmm.
and it came out once a month.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what 3 artists you were going to get.
Right.
And that was all you got to peek into the tattoo world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got a guy who's tattooing over in Europe that you're thoroughly like, oh my God, this is the best tattoos I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we heard this guy's coming to America to work at this tattoo convention in Florida.
Right.
Well, people from California, New York, Boston, Oregon, they would fly in there to get tattooed by this person because it's the only chance you're going to get to see him.
Right, right.
But now tattooing's opened up, but it's on such an international level.
Right.
There's so many conventions, and there's just so much. Like, look at Instagram. You scroll Instagram if you are following those kind of pages.
Sure.
And you got a brand new tattoo magazine refreshing itself every 15 minutes.
Totally, dude.
With 1,000 artists in it.
Right, right.
I mean, it's a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
honestly can't keep track of it. And
Yeah.
I'm almost purposely not keeping track of it because I want to still be inspired and excited about it. I feel like if you look at it too much, you're going to kill yourself by comparison.
Totally.
It's just not good.
In the beginning, when you like, I remember when Carrie Barbie, like the first time I saw her in a tattoo magazine, I was so blown away. I was like, what is this? Like, I didn't even know that this was possible. You can do underwater portraits on somebody's body that look like that and tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
Everything I knew was biker and gangster stuff. So it was all essays or white trash tattoos. And then all of a sudden you open up this magazine and there's something that looks like it should be hanging in the wall,
right?
In a museum in San Diego somewhere,
A person like Carrie Barba is like a kind of, in today's situation, she's a pioneer because she came into tattooing at a time when, there wasn't female tattooers.
No female tattoos.
And when they were female tattooers, they were working in those shops you're describing. They worked in those shops that were very male dominated and then biker, style tattoo shops. What you're describing.
Very chauvinistic, very misogynist.
Street shop style.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rough and tumble places, which was, I still kind of love that.
Yeah.
I love it. But
yeah.
she was a fine artist.
Yeah,
and she kept excelling and pushing herself and figured out how to translate that into tattooing somehow. And she still does create tattoos like that.
It's incredible.
Yeah, she's like doing like these elaborate pieces that are mind blowing on people. Yeah,
for sure.
If you're ever in Long Beach, stop by. It's Outer Limits Tattoo in Long Beach. It is an art museum for tattoos. It's absolutely an incredible spot, man.
Yeah,
totally. Carrie's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, was it Michael Liu, the guy that would do he was like down in I cannot remember his name, but like he did all this crazy tribal work. And his dad started doing it, then he did it. And like, you see his work and you're like, holy shit, but you'd only see it in a magazine.
Right.
And it was like, there wasn't a lot of different, like you said, no, like this is one little convention and there's someplace else where this same type of convention is going on right now.
Right.
And that wasn't the case, When you went to a convention in LA, that was it. There was nothing else going on.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think you're talking about Philip Liu.
Yes.
And he's from Switzerland. And his dad was Felix Liu, and he learned how to tattoo from his dad, and they were like a traveling family that did that. That's the shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Robert's here. Say hi.
Hey, brother, how you doing? Big J. Nice to meet you, Robert. Yeah. You got this over here, buddy?
I'll scoot in and. All right. Well, I'll let us know if we need to shift.
What's up? How are you?
It's funny we're
I saw
talking about
Boy, he walked
Philip
by
Liu,
earlier.
and his shirt is exactly who we were talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, Robert and I always talk about that because when we first saw Philip's work, it was little bits and pieces of it here and there. And then Outlaw Biker Tattoo Review did a story on him. And it was like 5 or 6 pages of tattoos. And we were like, Robert and I both described having the same spark.
Right.
Like, oh my God, that's what we want to do.
Right.
So we started pursuing larger, bigger pieces. And then I met Mick from Zurich, and I met Ivan, who worked with Mick, and now he's in Brazil. And I've met, and then I met, they came across Bill Salmon, and I went to San Francisco and got to work at the Diamond Club. I met Ed Hardy through that, and the chain of events that just kind of carried me through all that. Meeting these people that I've only read about in magazines, getting to know them personally, and then getting to see the work in person, and then traveling around you know, it's very it was kind of like my own little pilgrimage of like, you know, traveling here, traveling there, working here, working there, and picking up things along the way that have made it, I don't know, kind of help make us make the shop what it is, because we're both operating on that level, and we're trying to bring in people that have similar vision with their style of art, what they want to accomplish. And so we've purposely created the shop and have people there kind of on purpose. Like we vet people out. Like we're like, you really can't work here if we don't know you.
Yeah.
You only work here if we know you, or if you know somebody really well who works here. You know, it's like, and the guest artist thing is the same thing. We only have people working with us that we know.
Yeah, can't have negativity. It's got to be, everybody's got to kind of be on the same level.
We want everyone to be able to, like, you know, eat lunch, talk shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Verbally abuse each other and still laugh about it.
Yeah.
And have a great day. Yeah. And then clock out.
Right.
Give each other a hug and go home. You know.
Yeah.
100%.
As it should be.
Yeah. Exactly.
The first time I ever heard of Philip Lou was probably the exact same magazine article that you're talking about, where you're just, you know, because my dad was a biker, is a biker, so it was all Easy Riders and Outlaw Biker and all that stuff. And when you actually see somebody that was just amazing, it was like, oh wow, I can stop getting trash tattoos. You know, don't go to your friend and lay on the trailer floor and have your back done.
This
you
was
get some fucking shitty troll that looks like it's coming out of a dick cave.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it was all basically like what a lot of tattooers in our generation refer to as the tattoo renaissance period, where guys like Ed Hardy were pushing the limits. Guys like Bob Roberts were pushing the limits. You know, guys like Bill Salmon were pushing the limits. They were, you know, women like Junko Shimada, who was married to Bill for a very long time. His first, you know, leaving Japan and complete bodysuit of Japanese tattoos, comes to America, becomes a tattoo artist.
Right.
Yeah.
Female Japanese tattoo artist. It was almost unheard of.
Yeah, totally.
For a female to get a full body tattoo is insane.
And for her to come over here and just become a tattoo artist, you know, it's just an amazing story that she has about how that happened for her. And, you know, those are the kind of people I always looked up to. So, and, you know, luckily I've had the ability to hang out with them and speak with them and absorb some of that, what we call tattoo magic, you know, and be able to carry that on with us throughout whatever we do. And we can share that with the people we work with and people that we know. And it was funny. We'll hang out with people that work at other shops in LA. You know, we'll meet up with people from, you know, sometimes run into guys from Spotlight Tattoo, or run into guys from, you know, a shop up there that used to work for Greg at Deluxe and stuff. And, you know, we had Greg James working at our shop for a while. It's that generation, the before the plug and play generation, where we talk about things like that used to happen in the shop, like the rough and tumble stuff, making needles, making colors, doing all that stuff. We all relate to that. It is a dying art form in a way, you know, but it also is we're still able to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like the younger generation, if they don't ask the questions, they're not going to get the right answers.
They're not going to get it. Yeah.
So
they don't even have, like, I would hang out at tattoo shops a lot when I was young. You know, I was in my 20s and, you know, early 20s.
What you need, bro? It's in my backpack.
Yeah, when I was younger, I would go just hang out at the tattoo shop and kick back as a kid just to watch everybody do their stuff and, you know, sit there and talking to them while they're sitting there making all their different needle sets, you know?
Right.
Or they were in there instructing the apprentice on, hey, this is how you need to make a flat. This is how you do a round. And this is what you use it for. You know, it was always incredible.
Yeah, there was a lot of like times when I would go to get tattooed back then, where I would sit there with the guy while he made the needle he was tattooing me with right in front of me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we would be tattooing shortly after, you know. That was kind of, if they didn't have them pre-made, that make them themselves and sterilize them and have them in a drawer.
Right.
I would show up for my appointment, and, you know, I would show up to get tattooed by Jamie Sheen or Clay Decker, or, you know, guys back in the day that, you know, they would sit down in the back and we would just shoot the shit. We'd drink, you know, drinking a coffee or whatever and make their needle.
Yeah.
Then go set the station up and then tattoo me with the needle they just made right in front of me, which was crazy. You know, this was like part of like the journeyman process of being a tattooer. It was like learning your equipment, learning how it works.
And inside and out.
Watching somebody go, oh shit, there's something wrong with my gun. Hold on a second. And then rebuild it like quickly.
Yeah.
Just not like, oh no, I better grab another gun out of my box.
Yeah.
But
I
have to
like that you
rebuild
call
that
it a
gun.
tattoo gun because I like how it separates tattooers from people that don't tattoo. It's a tattoo machine, and a tattoo gun is kind of a slang term for it that's brought in from like the streets. But tattoo machine is actually a machine. It's never been called a gun professionally.
That's so funny.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never even thought about it any other way.
I know. Well, I'm not saying it to correct you or anything. I'm just saying that's funny because a lot of times when I'm talking to people and I hear that terminology, it also kind of just sort of, I'm like, okay, I have a measuring stick on like kind of where because my apprenticeship was very traditional. Like I was taught all kinds of I was taught to never even tell the customer what size needle I was using on them if they asked.
Oh really?
Yeah. I would make up shit.
Yeah, keep secrets.
Yeah,
like secrets almost.
But it's funny because like there's
I
mean with the internet and stuff, there's very little mystery left to tattooing. There's not mysterious anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got a lot of really nice tattoos on your arm. You know, a lot of tattooers.
Shit.
Yeah, we all have. I think we all have. I think we're all hiding
shit.
a fucking turd in there somewhere.
Yeah.
JoJo's made fucking endless money on me covering my shit up.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of cover-ups. I got
with
something
the
really
worst
need
shit.
to
I'm
be
like, hey,
covered
bro,
up.
how are you?
Yeah, it's fascinating, man. I never, never heard that at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's like, but it's just a natural part of like.
It is what it is.
I mean, I was calling it that when I was a kid too.
Yeah,
and I got corrected when I got into the shop. It was like, nope, we don't call it that.
But I mean, I would assume
I've been around. Like one of my brothers is Howie the Jew.
Okay,
and I've never, and I know I've said it, but he probably just figured I'm stupid. So.
Well, it depends. Like, I bet it's the gun is probably from prison culture.
Ignorant.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, because you're making a fucking, you know, like I could imagine that's where that terminology comes from. You know what I mean?
Have to have been.
Yeah, it's just very,
which you were well versed in. You know what I mean?
I think it's just, it also became a thing where it kind of separated like guys who, you know, and in the 70s and 80s, and I mean, even in the 90s when I started tattooing, you could tell like who had come through that the avenue of the streets into tattooing, and who was given the went in and did the apprenticeship stuff. You know, so
that's how it's like in my industry. If you tell someone that you're driving a tractor, a union guy's gonna go, "What are you fucking stupid? We don't drive tractors, dude. We run them, we operate them. We don't fucking drive tractors, asshole." You know what I mean? And there is that like mentality of like, this is, you either like, you watch someone I could watch someone walk up a ladder of a loader and tell you if they know how to fucking do it. You can watch someone lay out a gun or, you know, a machine and fucking tell if they know what they're doing, or terminology.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, there is that old school apprenticeship mentality that probably not enough people go through now. You know what I mean?
It took a long time before I could stop telling people what a fluffer is and explain why. You know, it's needed before I work.
Before you do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't any in the box.
Yeah. I like all the fucking jams in the background, dude.
Oh yeah.
This one could be lost totally, dude. We get flagged for music. I don't think so though.
Yeah, that's the yeah, I mean, and I wasn't trying to be negative by correcting you about that.
No, it's good to know.
I don't look at it that way at all.
Okay, great.
In my head, it was just in the Rolodex going, holy shit, I've never known that.
Yeah.
You know, and I read a lot, and I love this stuff, so I just have never heard that.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm a newbie to it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the guys that I was around earlier are definitely more old school.
Sure.
You know, their apprentice did come from behind bars.
Yeah. And I could tell when you were talking about making the ink out of chess pieces and stuff. I mean, that's pretty common conversation for that.
Yeah. When I was 12.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't 10 years old when I watched my dad getting tattooed in the living room by a guy named Fred the Head. They'd ride up on his old chopper. They would sit around and tattoo each other and then be like, hey, you want to get your nipple pierced? And, yeah, let's do it. You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah. My dad had God blows 8 dead goats asshole tattooed on his butt cheek. Yeah. And then he tried to fix it. And the way he fixed it was he put an X through the D.
Clip.
So it said, go blow 8 dead goats asshole. And then he kept getting kicked out of doctor's offices. So he'd go in for an examination and he'd bend over to, And the doctor would be like, pull your pants up and get out, you know? And then, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 years ago, Howie tattooed a koi over it so it's covered up. And it was such a joy watching Howie tattoo my dad's ass cheek.
Dude, that's amazing. Man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, man.
Holy
Do you
cow.
have JoJo? I'm sure you've done some ridiculous fucking tattoos, but have you ever been like had someone request something and it's just so ridiculous? You're like, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, back in the back when I was working at Psycho City for Mike, and there was this guy that there was kind of a place down the street where mental patients would stay.
Okay.
And every once in a while on the weekends they'd get money and they'd let them out. And they would, this one guy kept coming into our shop and he got a couple small tattoos. He wanted an upside down purple triangle on the tip of his forehead, like the Illuminati style, but like upside down. He had gotten some weird ones, but one day he came in and got a whopper. He had arthritis in his hand and his hand was stuck like this.
Okay.
And he couldn't move it.
Okay.
So he had me tattoo the image of Christ holding his hand like this with the Sacred Heart on the inside of his forearm upside down.
Shit.
He goes, but make him bald like me.
No.
And it looked like him dressed as Jesus going like this when he held his arm up, and it was a tattoo of him doing the same exact thing.
So good.
That
dude.
was a wild one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing. Because
I got a picture of it somewhere.
I have some ridiculous tattoos, but it's because of that scavenger hunt. You know, like I have Patrick Swayze as a centaur, you know, like tattooed on my leg and shit. But I remember we were in New York and we met this fucking guy, just randomly at the show, right? He's getting hammered at his house, and at one point he goes, I have fuck Elvis tattooed on my ass cheek," and I'm like, what the fuck? Why? You know? And he tells me the story. He's like, I'm trying to be an actor, right? He was going for this major audition, and he got shithoused the night before because he was so nervous. And I guess he stumbled in. He was like walking down the street, and he goes, "You gotta be cool, man. Like, you gotta be cool like fucking Elvis." And then he's like, "You know what? No, fuck Elvis, dude. Fuck that guy." And then he walked straight into a tattoo shop and got "fuck Elvis" in cursive on his butt cheek. You're like, you are a fucking weirdo, man. Like,
yeah.
And you had people come to you with stuff that you just go, "No, I'm not doing
that."
I have some stuff I'll say no to. Yeah. I do have some things now after all these years that just definitely don't have any. If I don't have any ambition, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
I'm not trying to say that that's the right behavior for a young tattooer. I think young tattooers should do everything that comes in the door and learn the business. But I've done that, you know, and I'm at a point now where I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to challenge myself anymore, and I'm definitely not trying to do anything that I feel is gonna make me non-ambitious or question like what's going on here.
Right.
I'm just not doing it. You know, like if it's gonna be club stuff or you know, things like that. They have their own people that do those kind of things. I don't need to be doing that. You know?
100%.
Yeah.
There was a guy, local guy, a great dude, man. He wasn't a very well put together 20 years ago. And he came in and I was sitting there hanging out at the tattoo shop locally. Mm-hmm. And he already had LSD tattooed on his forehead. And this was before people had face tattoos commonly.
Post Malone.
Yeah, and then he got a big diamond tattooed over his eye. And we tried to talk him out of it, and he just wasn't having it. He was getting it done. And now, fast forward it, now he's had all of it removed off of his face.
Man, of course. It's such a trip to me that kids start on their face and hands with tattoos now, man. Like, that would be one thing if, like, you know, if I was tattooing, I'd be like, really, you're gonna start on your fucking face? You know what I mean? But
I just think from the generation I come from that was the last resort.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like you start with your body. You know, you start getting tattoos. I mean, I was also taught like, you know, hands, neck, face. That stuff was all kind of off limits unless you were already a heavily tattooed person.
Right. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I see a lot of that now. I'll see a guy in a gas station with like a tank top on. Mm-hmm. And from his forearm to the tips of his fingers tattooed, big one on the cheek of his face and the back of his neck and the back of his head, and nothing on the chest or back.
The arms or
And I just feel like you look like a dude delivering a pizza, and you pull the pizza out, and everything's slid into one slice, and the rest of the pizza is just empty dough. You know what I mean? It just kind of looks like it makes me feel like I'm looking at that. You know what I mean?
I saw a beautiful young lady the other day, and she was beautiful, man. And she had a neck tattoo and she had her hand tattooed.
And that was it.
That was
Yeah,
it. And
so
I'm just
weird.
in my head, I'm like, wow. You know, and when we were growing up, if you had a neck tattoo or a hand tattoo, you don't mess with that person.
Right.
You know that he's already committed to whatever his lifestyle
Right,
is.
right.
And you know if you start to play with that dude that you're in for a go.
Right.
You know, and nowadays you see these guys, you see these girls
Oh, yeah.
that their whole neck's blacked up. And you're like, how do you even start there? But it's so common now. You know.
Yeah, that
Hey,
Instagram.
you dropped a card. Is that a business card or something?
I threw it to the trash can.
Oh.
I don't know why I had this in my wallet. It's from like whoever I see.
Oh, okay. I thought you dropped it on accident.
I think this is from the Santa Maria.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you dropped a credit card or
No, I
something.
threw it to make it in the trash.
Okay, sorry about that.
Like, sorry, I'm just that's why I didn't like that.
We're having some
Not even close.
activity in the booth.
You were nowhere near the trash can at all.
Failure. I feel like I don't want to talk bad about people when I talk about that kind of stuff, but it is kind of irritating to me when I see it because, I mean, if you're not obviously a very threatening person and you kind of look like someone who's just kind of, I'm going to do this.
Right.
When I was starting out, and you gave a kid a Cracker Jack box and they pulled the temporary tattoos out, that's where they put them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You look like you made the decision of a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100%.
What it is. Yeah.
It doesn't look like a serious decision.
No. Yeah.
I mean,
And then again, I've heard interviews even with Philip Liu, where he's like, is this person more down for tattooing than I am? They're willing to do their face
first. Yeah.
You know? I mean, I get it from that perspective as well, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's still an awkward one for me. It was just beat into my head so hard when I started out. That's not.
Yeah.
It's not going to just go away.
I was in my 40s before I would tattoo below my short sleeves. I wouldn't tattoo my forearms. I wouldn't tattoo anything like that because, you know, I would do security for people and do security at bars and stuff. And you had to be able to wear a t-shirt, you know, and if you couldn't wear a t-shirt or a polo shirt or something like that, you weren't going to get work, you know?
I mean, there's still a little bit of prejudice in the workplace, I feel, with tattooing, but you go to Target and the kid's got, you know, a septum piercing and purple hair and a couple of visible tattoos. I mean, there's a lot of places that are over it. You know, they just hire.
Yeah.
Or even me.
But I think that a lot of that's also California.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, I travel pretty extensively and I'll walk into a store and you don't see anybody with tattoos.
Right.
Period.
Okay.
Like I walk in the store and people look at me because I'm tattooed, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we used to tour, man, you know, even in the early 2000s, because I graduated high school with a fucking this whole entire arm piece. I had a beard at 18 and a fucking basically a sleeve. You know what I mean? And that was like pretty fucking rare. But when we would tour around, man, like we would be in the Midwest or wherever, and we'd walk into a fucking McDonald's, and everyone would be like, you know, look at you, you know, and like I remember one time just being like so over it. We walked in this line, only fucking store in town was McDonald's to get breakfast, dude. And I walk in first, I look all fucked up. I got long hair, my beard, tattoos, you know. I'm wearing like a tank top. The whole fucking McDonald's just goes and looks at you. And so I just went like this. I went and walked to the front of the line and ordered in front of everybody.
They thought Sasquatch showed up.
Were like, what the fuck? People were shielding their kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like shit on my
Covering
chest,
their eyes.
Yeah.
You know, but even in the early 2000s, it was still weird, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were tripping, you know?
Yeah, I think it's.
I wish it did.
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the mainstream of tattooing took place in like the bridge of the mid 2000s, early to mid 2000s, and I want to say it was probably around 2005 when it really kind of jumped the shark and just became more of a household accepted. You know, husbands and wives were coming in and getting like tattooed next to each other, like getting big pieces.
Right.
Which I'm all about that. I think it's cool. I mean, you know, I have couples that I've tattooed, and then I'm tattooing their kids, and now I'm tattooing their kids' kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when I started tattooing, I'm tattooing my dad's friends and people in my dad's age group a little bit. I would do a bunch of tattoos on these guys. Their kids were almost my age. They turned 18. I tattooed them. Now those kids have families, and their kid's 18 years old, and I'm tattooing that kid.
They're bringing them in,
So I got some families that did 3 generations of the kids in the family.
Amazing, man.
I got a small handful of families. I've tattooed everyone in the family.
That's really cool.
It's really a privileged thing for me because I feel like, man, this is like, super cool that like
Yeah,
people
you get to do
people are
that.
bringing their children into us, and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, watching your parents get tattoos really is encouraging.
My parents were not gonna get tattooed ever, and they were not into it at all. In fact, there was a couple of times as a teenager I feared for my life because I had a tattoo and I had to hide it. Because I knew.
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't going to end up well, and it didn't when I finally got found out about it. I mean, it did not end well at all for me, but
So my dad's,
I was willing to take a chance.
Yeah.
my pops is 82 or 83 years old.
Yeah.
And the sparrow that I have on my hand, he has the same sparrow on his hand, and that's why I got it.
Okay. That's awesome.
And he got it when he was like 16 or 17 years old in Seattle. And my grandma had to take him to the tattoo studio and sign off on it because it was a cover-up. And can you imagine? I mean, he was 16 years old getting a cover-up on his hand, and he's 80-some years old,
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
So when I got into it, kind of like one of my best friends, his uncle kind of showed us how to tattoo ourselves, and we tattooed each other when we were 14.
Yeah.
And of course, my parents were a little more hardcore, strict, and I wasn't going to be able to cover myself in tattoos at 14 and 15 years old.
Right.
But by the time he was 16, he already had a bunch of tattoos all over his arms.
Sure. Yeah.
And his mom didn't like it. He didn't really get in a lot of hot water for it, not like the hot water I would have got into. So his mom took him down to the tattoo shop to see Mike's dad, JR, to like go, well, can you teach him how to tattoo? He keeps tattooing himself, and he's like, it's not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and, or can you cover up the work? And he goes, I can't take away what he's got. I can only add to what he has. So shortly after that, they moved down to La Puente, and Kenny's grandma lived in Whittier, and they lived down there for a long time. He learned how to tattoo at a place down there called Fat George's Tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he worked down there, but I got tattooed again by him shortly after he started working there. I started getting tattooed by him again and stuff, and we were. It was funny. We kind of lost touch with each other for about 4 or 5 years, and we got back together again.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he passed away in '98. He was real young when he died, but I still have a few tattoos from him that are untouched.
Nice,
I saw my first one.
Do you really?
Yeah, that he gave me in the bedroom. I still have it. I never covered it up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was working with a guy.
4 times.
I was working with a guy in Los Feliz at the time, guest spotting at the shop in Los Feliz, and I was working with this guy. He's an amazing artist named Bob Vessels, and he said, "Don't ever cover that. That's your first one." And as soon as he said that, it made sense to me because I always planned on getting rid of it because I thought, man, it's ugly.
Yeah.
But then I thought, man, he's right.
It is. Yeah.
And ever since then, I just left it alone.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I have no regrets
Yeah.
covering up DMF on my arm. I mean, at this point, it would be about like the size of a dime.
And off-centered.
No way. It was, yeah.
No symmetry whatsoever.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I got a lot of cover-ups.
Look at Kitty's.
Oh, shit. That's hilarious.
Most of the time.
No regrets most of the time. Tattooed on Kenny's arm.
Awesome.
Hey, brother. Hey, water.
Yeah, you want them?
Please.
So I have some cover-ups on my arms, but I didn't get them because I had tattoos I regretted. I got them because I was working in a tattoo shop, and the guys who work there, I watch a guy do a cover-up, and I'm like, oh, cover this. It was more like a learning thing.
How do you
do
it?
Jenna. And it was more like something to just kind of like take with you, I covered this up because it could be covered up.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I did cover-ups too, and I had to learn how to do them. So it was just more like that. It wasn't because I hated the tattoos. It was just covered up the ones I didn't like as much as the other ones.
There you go.
Yeah. I got one on my chest that I want to get covered up because I think it could be made to look so much better.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like it, and it's not that it's horrible. It's just I think that the right person could really make it look cool.
Right. Yeah, it's a trip, man, because I got shit I want to add to and all this stuff, but it's hard to find an artist that wants to touch someone else's shit anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. You know what I mean? It's like
if you look at the menu,
right.
I mean, like we were talking about earlier with Instagram, it's like, okay, maybe this person that tattoos in Spain is your guy, or maybe this guy that works in London and they're visiting LA. It's like, about it today.
Right.
Yeah. You don't have to wait for the magazine to come out next month or wait for a flyer on a poster or somewhere hanging in a shop or something. It's and to find the person that you like now, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, if you look around, just really look at just look around you, and really take the time and go into shops and look at the local people's shops and then look at what they have and what they're doing on Instagram. And
Yeah.
you could find local people that,
Yeah, do your homework.
Yeah, exactly.
But Robert and I think a huge part of our business is we still rely on word of mouth.
Oh yeah.
But we're doing such big pieces, like we have people that go out on the street with like a healing sleeve or a healing leg, like the guy behind you. He's got his leg and his arm done now. This guy's a walking advertisement for Robert.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when that guy goes out in the street and everyone asks him who did it, he gets a referral.
Right.
And so we're still working basically off that style of advertising. We still advertise for the shop and we still advertise ourselves, but it's after 30 years you have a clientele, you have people that know about you. And then when people see the work, you just keep coming back around, which is we're in a privileged position because we started off early and we did that DIY thing where you didn't have the internet, you didn't have all that. So I was like handing out flyers, handing out cards, doing all the footwork,
doing everything.
I mean, I'm here because of him.
Right.
He's the one that constantly will go, oh man, this guy is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you got to look at the work that he's done. He's a good guy. And just like he really, like you said, word of mouth, man.
Yeah. It was funny, when I first started tattooing, I didn't quite know outside of my group of friends that were in punk rock and everything. I tattooed them, but I needed to expand on my portfolio a little bit. You know what I mean? I had to expand on my portfolio. I made these flyers that I was tattooing, and I went to Warehouse Records, and I went to like all the record stores and music stores, and I went to like back then it was B. Dalton Books.
Right.
And I made these flyers, and I would go in there and I would put them in the Guitar Player magazines and the Rolling Stone magazines, and I was just. If they had plastic on them, I had a razor blade with me, and I'd slit the top of the plastic, and I'd drop my flyer in the back cover, and I was like just putting my flyer all over the damn place. And I would put that flyer, and people would bring it to the shop. People would buy the Rolling Stone or like a Guitar Player magazine. They had my flyer in there, and I was just like, it's working.
Dude, that was brilliant.
But that is from that punk rock shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just learn how to do it.
You learn that. Yeah, you go.
Because we used to sneak our flyers into those stores too when we were playing,
100%,
and we'd stick them in the magazine shelf.
I'd stick them in record shelves. I'd stick them in between the CD bins and the punk department.
Telephone poles all over Ventura.
The whole deal,
Oh yeah.
That old school organic growth is like, and I'm sure the convenience of building a following on Instagram is probably pretty fucking nice. You know what I mean? But you really earned every fucking client. You know what I mean? Back in the day,
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you see it happening, And now it's like the new way of advertising is only online.
Right.
Because nobody's buying magazines at the records at the music store or at the bookstore anymore that much,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to a magazine or bookstore anymore, people are sitting down at the copy shop they have installed inside the bookstore, reading the magazine, then putting it back on the shelf and leaving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I see happening.
No, 100%.
I love to read. I love books. I don't remember the last time I went into unless it's a one-off bookstore, but like going into Barnes and Nobles.
Right.
There's no point in it. If I see something and it starts to fascinate me, you just start looking online, man. And you can find everything, But now reading with audiobooks is almost obsolete to
I know,
me.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, ladies? We got Honey and Machi around here. There you go. Throw that middle finger.
Hi,
in there.
ladies.
What's up? We got a bunch of people cruising by the booth today.
Hey,
Not bad, huh?
tattoo my cheeks with those big old things you got right over there. Not you. Not you. The other one.
The other one. That's awesome.
Did you say tattoo me with your cheeks?
My cheeks with her titties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are those are his titties.
That's my lady, and that's her twin sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here on my taint. Yeah, that's next.
Yeah, man, it's
That's
busy around
another
here. It's
thing
nice.
that you're so used to it being. It's an adult environment.
Yeah.
And I'm very not.
Kid friendly.
Yeah,
you're too much of a grown up.
Yeah.
But right here, is
Yeah, this is my godson. He's
heard it all.
I'm not saying he hasn't heard it all,
Yeah,
but I'm saying he hangs out with me.
He's not gonna flinch.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yep.
You get around my daughter, and well, now she's sleeved, but she does not look like she's grown up listening to.
Yeah, he won't say it.
bags.
He won't repeat that.
Yeah,
My youngest daughter grew up in my household. You know,
Oh, yeah.
she's 18 now, and she just now like started being comfortable enough to say shit in front of
Oh,
me.
really?
I was like, man,
Oh, dude.
that's pretty awesome.
I wish my kids were.
My
my kids are fucking cussing up storms every time I walk in the room. Like, hey, dude, what's up? He's like, my 13-year-old boy is like,
yeah.
Hey,
My
dude.
daughter's 29. She won't cuss around me.
Really?
All my
Wow.
nieces and nephews will not cuss around me.
Man,
But most of them, like that smoke cigarettes, won't smoke cigarettes around me.
really?
Yeah. A few of
incredible.
them just started drinking around me.
Wow.
But it
It is what it is.
yeah.
That's true.
I mean, I
Kids grow into whatever they.
yeah.
I mean, I never told her she couldn't cuss.
Right.
Yeah.
And then she told us when she was little that she goes, when I go out with my big sister, sometimes if I want to say a bad word, she lets me do it.
Nice. Hell
Yeah.
dude.
And I thought that was the funniest thing
That's
ever. I never said anything about it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just let it happen.
Oh, dude, the kids are letting it fly at school, dude.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
it's
oh,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so
if you
funny.
treat it like a taboo thing,
Oh, yeah.
that's when it becomes weird.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? That's when
you
it
get
gets
uptight
weird
Christians,
and
you know what I mean?
yeah, it's when it gets all weird and
Yeah.
you know?
I've never told them that they can't.
yeah.
It's the respect.
Right. That's what
You know.
that's what I'm saying about my daughter. Like I
Yeah.
know she knew that like her mom and I just probably didn't want to hear her saying it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So she didn't.
Yeah.
But then she got older, she started saying it, and now
Yeah.
she's a little loose, but it's like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
So do you have the neck and back problems going on that a lot of the guys I know that have been doing it forever, or do you work out? Or
I do chiropractic,
oh yeah,
but I have to, I do feel it. There's days when I exercise, now to keep my muscles going so that I can actually sit up all day long and
Yeah.
not have those issues. And my back, I can feel it in my back sometimes.
yeah,
But, it's one of those things. It's just, I guess, just part of
Part of
being
the program.
Part of the program. I mean, if you don't take care of it, it eventually catches up to you.
yeah,
So I went ahead and started doing chiropractic visits and exercising, just trying to do something for myself so I can have longevity.
yeah,
I don't really have a retirement plan. I'm going to tattoo the whole time because
Yeah.
I love tattooing.
yeah.
Even if I got to downsize a little bit,
Right.
I'm still going to do tattoos. I love
Right.
doing it.
It's people do not understand that like sitting in one position with your scrunched over, kind of, for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had my shin tattooed for 12 and 13 hours straight.
Dang.
With just cigarette breaks and. It's just brutal, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, when you think about it too, it's like I don't really think that. Also, a thing of the past was I don't even think like tattooers are really the healthiest people because I know I wasn't. I was
absolutely
smoking
not.
and drinking and staying up late and
yeah,
I wasn't exactly training for an event. You know what I mean? It was just part of the lifestyle.
yeah, 100%.
It still is, but it's now it's like for me, being in my 50s, it's like moderation. I'm still having fun,
Yeah.
but
Well,
I'm
kind
not
of like what we talked about earlier. That some of the guys that did my earlier tattoos, there was some stuff going on in the bathroom and we tattoo for 2 days or 3 days, and they're sweating and their pupils are gone and they're into it.
Yeah.
And that you don't see any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah. And that's
Which is a great thing.
it has its place, and in history, and it's kind of just kind of part of the chain of events that's led us to where
Yeah.
we're at now, I guess. I think there's always been a fascination with tattooing, and there's always been an underground element to tattooing, which I always appreciate. But it's so like non-existent almost now that the only place it lives is inside my brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And hopefully get
Like
the history
the
documented.
whole way tattooing used to be, the only place it's making any sense or still living is in my mind.
Yeah.
Because out here it doesn't exist anymore.
No, not at all.
You have to really look for it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, I'd go sit there and hang out at tattoo shops all the time when I was younger.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to it. I just wanted to go and watch and hang out.
Right.
I have zero artistic talent, So I wasn't ever thinking I'd be a tattoo artist, but I just like the environment and watching people get stuff done and hanging out.
Yeah.
And that type of tattoo shop just absolutely doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know, it was two big bikers that did it.
Yeah.
You know, one of them was really good and he's still doing it. And the other one was not very good. And I don't even know if he's alive anymore.
Yeah. Well, you know, like that was the shop I started in. You know, Mike and his family, they all rode, and they were, you know, and I learned from them. And it was a lot of the people I did a lot of my early work on were also, you know, rode, and I love all that, and I had a great time. But you know, I mean, also, you know, you didn't fuck around.
Yeah.
You know? You get schooled up real quick if you got loose with any of that shit. You know what I mean?
Wait, I mean, majority of the tattoo shops when we were young and growing up were biker owned.
Oh yeah,
and club biker. Wasn't like you just owned a tattoo shop. That was why there was only one shop in Ventura forever.
Right. Yeah, it's regulated.
Yeah. Well regulated for a long time.
For a long time. You know.
Yeah.
I hear you.
You know.
I mean, that's kind of why, you know, I think Robert and I get along good at work, but we have all these old stories. We also came from the same generation, so we have a lot of people that we know in common, and experiences and stories and places we've been that we've both been to, that, you know, it just there's a click there that we can talk about, and you know, it helps because, you know, other than that, like not that there isn't anything in common with the younger generation or anything, or even people that are way older than me, but with people who are way older than me, I listen a lot, and try to talk less. And with the younger generation, I feel like I'm doing all the talking. So it's nice to have conversations with people that can relate on your level.
Right.
So how do you feel about doing your drawings and stuff on an iPad now? That's something I find fascinating.
I still do a lot of my drawings on paper.
Yeah.
I use my iPad to like design stickers and stuff.
Yeah.
Design shirts, things like that. I've used my iPad a couple of times to scale out drawings I need for bigger tattoos, but then I always go back to the paper and pen with that print out, and still go very analog.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm looking over at the around the convention we're at now, and everyone's on an iPad.
Everybody.
Yeah. Robert and I always carry a box of pens with us because we usually draw everything on most of the time.
Yeah. I think almost everybody I know that's doing my work nowadays, they all are using iPads.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it definitely,
I'm
for
sure
the smaller, more intricate designs and detail and stuff, I mean, it's a superior tool for a lot of people in that sense, you know?
Yeah.
Especially because, like we were talking about earlier, like people's wants in tattooing have changed so much.
Right.
People want these super tight, intricate designs nowadays, and you know, I don't really subscribe to that style of work. I don't really have it in me to do it.
Yeah.
I need to work big. I need to work bold.
Right.
And I mean, to be quite honest, I don't want to squint and give myself a headache at it either. But there's people that are out there that can see all that little stuff.
Right.
They can see that hair on a fly's ass. I can't see that stuff.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And some of the little intricate tattoos that you see people doing nowadays, it blows my mind. You know, like I was, my friend Jessie D that's going to be working on me tomorrow.
Yeah.
She did a little piece of candy on somebody and she posted it today. And it looked like the candy sitting there on their arm, and it was about the same size as that. And it's got all the color and vibrancy and all that, you know?
Yeah.
It's amazing. They'll sit there all day long, like 6 hours, and do something that's like, you know, the baseball size or smaller, and it's
insane.
It's totally packed with every trick in the book.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a theory on it. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, or if it sounds mean, and I'm not trying to sound mean at all when I say it, but I feel like there's a lot of people that are gifted and went to art school and went for 4 to 6 years and got an art degree that's useless, and they got into tattooing somehow.
Right.
And they're applying what they know in art to the tattoo world.
Right.
And doing things that tattooing didn't really, cultivate before.
Right.
And they're creating things that work and don't work.
Right.
And I think they're just bringing it to the table with a whole new I mean, there's some of us that have seen shit like that before. We're like, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's not going to last.
Yeah.
But then we see some other stuff that's got the right amount of black in it. It's got a little bit of structure. And you're like, that's pretty powerful.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
And, you see people coming in from both directions.
Mm-hmm.
And with the younger generation, that's what I notice mostly.
Yeah.
And I don't say younger generation either by age. I'm saying younger generation based on how long they've been tattooing for.
Right.
Because a guy on my age could start tattooing and he'd be a young tattooer. He'd only tattooing for 2 years.
What do you think? Like how many years before you really have a good frame of reference? 10 minimum, right? I mean,
I think anybody that tells me they've been tattooing 10 years has probably done enough tattoos where I could probably say, okay, you might have.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying everyone's got a tattoo for 10 years to have that. Some people work in incredibly busy shops that are still street shops. Got the, there's my friend's shop in Texas is like that. My friend's shop in Minnesota is like that. And then, old school Venice Beach style where people are just coming in and out all day long. Lined up to get tattooed. It's the,
at 10 years, you really think you're like, someone says, hey, I've been really tattooing for 10 years. You're like, all right. So you probably got a good frame of reference, right?
Yeah.
Because I know like in Japanese culture, 10,000 hours, you know what I mean? It's like the apprenticeship program, right? But I even tell like what I do, I tell my apprentices all the time, like at 10,000 hours, 6,000 hours, you're a journeyman. 10,000 hours, you really kind of start to understand the fucking work. Really, you're fucking 10. You should be a master of your craft, pretty close with what I do. Art is a whole nother fucking universe, you know what I mean?
If you're not doing it every day, you're not going to get better at it.
100%.
Yeah. And with tattooing, it's like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying there's people out there that don't deserve to get in the business, but I'm just saying there's so many people in the business that the customer artist ratio is almost going 50-50 at some point in my mind, where like, depending on where you're at and how it's going. Because how the hell are you going to be busy every day if you only get to work once a week?
Yeah.
You're not going to learn anything doing it once a week.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
I'm still trying to unlock the chat wizard level.
There you go. He's actually almost at grand wizard level, dude.
You're a wizard level when you make a mistake while you're tattooing. You don't tell anyone about it, and you fix it while you're still doing the tattoo. That's tat wizard.
That is a talent. Yeah.
That's wizard level shit. I do that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I did it today twice. You didn't even see it.
Yeah,
super comforting.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look bad considering I'm on mushrooms too. So
there you go.
Well, that's two of us.
Wow, it's crazy. JoJo's tattooing on LSD right now, dude. Yeah.
That seems appropriate for what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your clothes. I knew you guys were going to dress up for me today.
I fucking A, man. Anything for you, buddy. It's hard to work with a fucking half a boner, though, you know? Up for him.
Oh, my God. Rad.
Yeah,
I just put my leg like that.
I know. Yeah, there you go. Let it slide down the side.
You just wear tracksuit and loose shorts.
That's right, buddy. I got Speedos on under this bad boy.
Yeah.
Dude. Let me know when you're ready. We're ready. You want to be scarred forever? Come on down, dude.
Yeah. Start talking about my old tattoos again.
Yeah, there you go.
I call my tattoos by Braille because they puff up so often.
Oh, yeah, I have that issue too. I get people with panicking messages. I can feel the outline on my tattoo when I'm out in the sun. I'm like, yeah, I can feel mine too. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we just fucking destroyed your skin. It's not reacting well to it, you know? Yeah. That's such a funny fucking.
I love it.
Yeah. I bet you get some panicky fucking emails and calls about.
I get some funny ones, you know. I mean, I get some that are kind of serious every once in a while. Like I had somebody had gotten like a contact dermatitis situation from the Sanoderm one time.
Yeah.
I've had people with situations, but I mean, it's funny when I was learning with Mike and his dad and his mom started coming to the shop about 3 or 4 years after we had the shop open. They had all these like homeopathic things to do because they come from that generation, you know?
Yeah.
Like very hippie, very bikerish, kind of like had like homemade. No, don't go to the doctor.
Oh, really?
You know, like I'm gonna fix this.
Yeah.
And they had all these like methods that worked.
Yeah.
And I try to tell people that shit these days. And they look at me like I'm a maniac.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And I'm like, no, it really works.
Yeah.
I've had a few people go through with it and tell me, yeah, it worked great.
Yeah.
But it's just everybody gets panicky. They want to go to the doctor's office, and you know how many of your doctors have a sleeve? I mean, they don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, you have an
They just throw
infection. I'm
shit at
gonna
the wall,
put you on
dude.
an IV and charge you $25,000.
Right. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to get earaches all the time. My old man would literally put raw garlic cloves in my ear and fucking cure
I've heard
it in a
about
day.
that. Yeah,
You
I've
know
heard
what I
about
mean?
that.
Like,
Yeah.
he'd put raw garlic cloves in my ear when I had an earache when I was a kid. Then it fucking totally worked. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he would like slice. He would take a clove and slice it open, and then either he would do that and rub it on a cotton ball and stick that in my ear, or just put the whole clove in there, dude. And it fucking within a day, your ear hurts for like an hour. You're like, oh, because it's just killing everything, and then it would fucking go away.
Yeah.
You know? Trippy, dude. Yeah.
He is Greek though. So,
I am Greek.
Yeah,
So
they also sprayed Windex on
Yeah.
each other. And,
Every time I think I see a ghost, I have to throw a plate at the wall.
yeah.
Oopa!
Spray it with Windex.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking hit it with some Lysol, dude. Call
You'll
it
be
good.
okay here.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Take some Ouzo, you're all right.
Yeah.
I caught myself on fire when I was like 5 years old. And yeah,
Spraying yourself with something?
playing with matches.
Oh, okay.
And my t-shirt caught on fire and it fucked me up.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, but it was, I went to the hospital for it and I had skin grafts and stuff. But after we got out of the hospital, it was all aloe plant and vitamin E. There
Aloe
was
works
no,
really good.
Yeah. I'm assuming the vitamin E did. They break open the
It totally
capsules
works.
and rub it all over there.
Oh, yeah. Dude, when I was a kid, I had a babysitter that was a real piece of shit. And so
Where's
I
this going on?
I would spray. Yeah, it was weird. It got weird over there. But I fucking sprayed my entire pants with hairspray and lit myself on fire in the house, dude. Fucking ran from my room out through the house, out to the fucking thing, and watched this bitch lose her mind, dude. She was like 500 pounds. She couldn't fucking move to save her life, dude. She's like, trying to Jabba the Hutt herself off the fucking couch, and I'm screaming on fire, fucking running through the yard in Roseman, dude. Right on B Street.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right down the street to fucking Foster
You
Freeze.
fucking scared the fucking neighbors too, dude.
Hey, film there, Jay. Holding in there.
Yeah.
There you go.
It is what it is, man.
It's looking good.
Yeah. It's not bad at all.
Yeah, I was always told the hand sucks, and I was like, I can deal with this all day, dude. Wasn't too bad.
The only one that I've told you, I think the only one that really sucked was my calf. And then after you got yours done, I think it was just because it was a Shamrock tribal thing, and it was all just going over the same thing over and over and over and over for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's why it was just miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, the calf was, I mean, it didn't feel great, you know what I mean? But it wasn't, I think you banged mine out in like fucking 2.5 hours. So right as I started to get over it, he was like, we're done. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
fucking, thank God. This is why I go to JoJo. It's fucking, you don't fuck around, man. It's nice,
Yeah,
Got no time for that.
I got a lot of it's Celtic knotwork and
Right.
Shamrock, and it's all
Concentrated spot.
Yeah, man. And I remember gripping onto that table.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna die.
The most uncomfortable thing for me was just having to fucking lay on my stomach for 2.5 hours. You know what I mean?
It's not hard. Did you turtle him around like every time you needed to move him? You just kind of moved him like a turtle on his shell.
That's right. Yeah. On my balance point right here. Yeah. Front of the shin didn't feel great. That wasn't fun. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is really.
Yeah.
That's
You're just
what
like,
people go to. Tattoos hurt. I go,
get
yeah.
over it.
Yes, they hurt.
Everyone always says, which tattoo hurt the worst? I always tell them, the next one.
The next,
Yeah.
yeah. Because you forget, it's like,
Yeah.
you forget about the pain like as soon as it's done. You know what I mean?
You get tattoo amnesia.
Yeah, it's weird.
It happens. It's
like
a real
giving
thing.
birth or something.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I'm liking the color a lot, man. Yeah.
I'm gonna do like kind of a gold color, a little bit of red in the mouth, and I think we'll be done. It's kind of a gold skin.
Gold. Thought you could make gold like the golden child when he's glowing.
Oh yeah, he might be glowing today.
Yeah.
A man over here's got some fucking work. That's all you, Robert? Hey. Clean.
Yeah, I'm super privileged to be working with an artist of his caliber.
Outstanding.
I bet you are. Do you guys bow to each other
He's
every
not,
morning?
he's not taking
Yeah.
the bait today.
He's not taking it?
Nah.
Oh, you're fine, dude. It's already a mess over here. We got music going. We got, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
All of a
Tattoo
sudden,
gun in the fucking mic. It is what it is, dude.
Yeah.
We're just happy to be here, Robert.
first time Craig and I have ever had a lull in a conversation because neither one of us knows how to stop talking.
I know, huh?
Just shooting from the hip. You run out of things to say sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. That's what editing's for.
Oh, that's
Just
true.
edit out the dead shit. you know?
Yeah.
There ain't much of it in this almost 2 hours already. You know what I mean? It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The
Hopefully,
fact that you can talk and fucking tattoo at the same time is, you know, pretty nice. You know?
that's called a wizard level.
Yeah,
Is that wizard? That's
yeah.
pretty good.
it's pretty wizard.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be
That is-
modest.
that
you
is
know?
what Robert was, you know.
Oh yeah. Right in the wrist. Right in the wrist, buddy. I wish you could zoom in on Jay's face right now, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also you're able to talk while you're getting a tattoo.
Yeah.
That's fucking not bad, man. I'm really glad you volunteered for this, dude.
I've been put through a lot worse pain than a tattoo and
That's right.
talked at the same time.
Right. No, Uncle, no. Oh, fucking A, man.
Baby. I tend to start smiling and giggling and laughing when I get to a certain point.
I'm with you. They get a little like delirious. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that point you reach.
Yeah.
There's ain't nothing you can
You're
do.
like, why am I here?
Yeah.
And you just laugh about it because you're like, I did this to myself.
I know. And I'm going to pay someone for it. You know?
Yeah, that's the best part for me. It's my favorite
I
part.
know. You get to torture people and fucking get paid for it.
When Howie would work on my shin,
Oh.
every once in a while, I would involuntarily just twitch.
Yeah.
Like, and just, I don't have any control over it at all.
Right.
Oh my God, he'd lose it on me.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I
Howie makes you fucking pay for tattoos,
Yeah.
man. That guy,
Yeah.
it's a 9-hour ordeal, dude. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck. He does great work, but Jesus, you know?
Likes to take all day.
He used to be really bad because he took 1,000 breaks while he was doing tattoos.
Right.
But now he's very, very, very good about like, okay, I'm taking a smoke break, and he
Yeah.
walks out, smokes a cigarette, comes right back in and
Right.
sits down and gets the work done.
But with his style, he did that rabbit piece on Rosie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
he
cool.
packs fucking color in there, dude. You're
That
like,
piece is cool.
yeah, he does really killer work, but
Yeah.
he only does one tattoo a day because it's a fucking 9-hour day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when we did the other one, this one on my right shin,
Uh-huh.
we did it right before a tattoo convention, and we did it all in one shot.
Okay.
And it covers my whole shin.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and did both of them.
Oh, you did the both? Very cool. That Marilyn Manson?
And that's a leprechaun
I'm,
again.
I'm,
but
just,
yeah,
I'm joking.
yeah.
No, it looks awesome.
It needs to get more work.
That's
Do
rad.
some touch up to it. I love it.
That's awesome.
It's cool.
Look, you are Irish.
No
huh?
offense to who did that tattoo. I was making a joke.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
How he can take
he's
it.
got some thick skin.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Most people have been doing it for a while, develop it over time if they
Yeah.
haven't had it before.
I mean, he's named Howie the Jew and went and did time in prison, so I'm pretty sure he's got some thick skin.
He'll make it work.
That'll work.
Yeah. He's awesome, man.
Right on.
Yeah.
I love the color.
I'm surprised he's not here, actually. Just checking it out, you know? You know how he is. You hear that, Howie? We know how you are.
It's amazing how that color's given it such dimension.
Yeah, it's kind of like my favorite part.
Comes to life at the end. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck, Jay, I should have got us some cocktails, huh?
I'll give you some cash.
Are they?
Yeah.
There you go. You want to? Are we allowed to have a
You
cocktail?
got it.
in
Don't
here,
ask
JoJo?
me.
I mean, I don't care, but I think the health department people are like not.
Oh, they don't want the. Yeah.
They're kind of being. If you hide it under the table, it'll be good.
Yeah. You probably almost. I'll buy you one after. How's that? Well, hey, we'll go to this place called The Garage at 1091 Scandy Avenue.
Yeah. Got Jen's birthday party going on.
There you go.
Dropping off a bunch of food. There'll be chicken and pulled pork sandwiches and all kinds of shit.
Come check out the Garage Bar. So you're here as a judge as well, right?
Yeah,
you and
me and Robert
yeah.
and Alex over
And
there
Alex
are
over
the
there
judges.
judging,
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
It's hard.
Yeah, I bet, right?
Light it though. We have fun up there.
Yeah.
We talk to the people when they're coming up, and we have a good laugh or two. It's good. Everyone's really friendly, and
yeah. And you were kind of saying it was nice because you work big conventions most of the time, and we were talking last night. You were talking about how it's nice that you're meeting guys that are right in their own backyard for the first time. You know.
Yeah, we don't know a lot of the people that we
Right,
met here
yeah.
that are actually they're within a radius of us. You know.
Right,
So it's
right.
kind of interesting to see who's out there. That's a
the fucking
that's a more
response we were
blunt
looking
way to
for.
say it.
That's exactly what we were looking for.
We don't know a lot of 3-year tattooers.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
there's
hey, man.
the deal.
You got to start somewhere, though, right? And this is the last day, right?
Yeah,
I think this is
it.
the last Seaside Tattoo show too.
He's
She's
my
not-
last appointment.
I don't think she's doing it anymore after this. This might be the last year. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
I heard it was.
Yeah.
Last year.
I've come through. Yeah, I always come through and check it out. But, it used to be there was a couple of years where it was like 2 buildings, and it seems it's here and there depending.
My wife used to help run like the kids paint booth and stuff, and sit here with the kids and stuff. And
Right.
When we came down here, and that was probably 11 or 12 years ago, it was packed. Like walking through was difficult.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to what we were talking about. There's just so many shops nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, there's not just the 2 or 3 anymore.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a new generation.
New generation.
I know.
I like that a lot.
I heard it.
That
I heard
definitely
it.
made me giggle.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Got to get Robert a mic next time. He's
I know,
funny.
man. We should have thrown him one.
Man, we'll come up to the shop and hang out
I know, right?
without the work so we can actually talk and communicate.
There you go.
I need to get more lessons on tattoo machine and not gun.
I'll make you I'll get you a ditto paper.
There you go.
Yes.
I'll write you.
Things to
I'll
say
get
and
you an
not.
exam, a Scantron, and you
Yeah.
can answer all my questions before we start.
They're not tats. They're tattoos.
Right.
All right.
You're being so nice to him today. Do you let him take a pee break? You usually just make me fucking wear a diaper when I'm there.
Well, part of it is we just like seeing you in a diaper.
That's true.
It's kind of hot. That baby Huey look.
Yeah, hotness, dude.
Yeah.
Hotness incarnate.
I used to not take breaks and just wear a Depends undergarment, and just shit my pants while I was working.
It's like you at a Taylor Swift concert, dude. Have you seen that shit? People are wearing diapers at Taylor
dude.
Swift concerts.
Yeah, so they don't have to go
So
to the
they don't
bathroom.
have
They
to
don't
miss
miss
a song?
Taylor Swift jumping into the stage.
Huh? No.
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not kidding.
There's a whole article that came out about it.
I could not imagine.
She's playing 45 songs.
You're like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, totally, dude. You know someone's shit their pants for sure.
Oh, someone definitely pitching a loaf.
Oh, yeah, for sure, dude.
Dude, I got roped in last night on the Instagram. I sent you videos off.
Yeah,
It was even more crazy than I remember.
Instagram's dangerous territory these days.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
dude.
You can watch a dude get eaten by a shark, or you can watch a chick fucking shoot something out of her ass. It was fucking terrible. A guy got ate by a shark last week.
I know.
And fucking, they're showing it all over
It
the
was
internet.
so gnarly.
So now we're just watching this guy get eaten by a shark.
Oh, which
the
one?
video with that kid that jumped off the boat.
Yeah, in Egypt.
Yeah.
The one in Egypt. Oh,
Oh no,
that
the
one
guy
was
that
bad
jumped
too.
off that boat
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got his leg
in
bit
the
off.
Bahamas.
But we're talking about the kid that got ate in Egypt, and they filmed the whole thing
fuck.
from the
Oh,
shore.
okay.
Did you see the one where the kid
Oh,
jumped
dude.
off the boat and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, and his leg was
disappeared?
missing.
No, just disappeared.
On the dare.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you saw the bull shark take him out.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a kid in the Bahamas. He was on a.
Yeah, if I'm logging in, I want it to be worth it.
Right.
The one I get caught up in, and I can't help myself, is watching people like in Mexico, and a dude walks up and shoots 6 people.
Yeah,
And you're like,
Jesus.
how did this end up in my feed?
Yeah.
You know, now
And
you can
then
watch it for free. When I was a kid, you used to have to rent these
I know.
movies called
Yeah.
Faces of Death. Yeah.
Or seek that stuff out, or
Yeah.
Yeah, remember Rotten.com?
Yeah.
Kenny,
Rotten.com,
I'm sure
dude.
Kenny had a fucking subscription, dude.
So did I.
He had a monthly fee. I bet he was paying over there, dude. Yeah. Yeah, you used to fuck. I mean, now it's like, yeah, sometimes there was that guy that's like stabbed all those people in some foreign, some terrorist dude was running around stabbing a bunch of people in England, and I like was scrolling through and I watched the whole entire video of it. He like stabs a kid. You're like, oh, you're like, fuck, dude, I wasn't
There's a
ready
new
for
one
that
I
today.
showed Robert, a guy robbing a jewelry store, and the security guard pulls the gun
That
out,
was
shoots
coming.
him in the fucking neck,
Yeah.
and the guy's like the blood just squirting out of him.
I haven't seen that
And
one
then he
yet.
gets into the revolving door and just collapses,
Yeah.
and there's blood all
Yeah.
over the floor.
And
Have
you're
you,
like,
have
dude,
you
it's
seen the one where the guy comes around behind the counter to rob the guy, and the guy behind the
Pulls
counter
the knife
just takes
out
a knife
and
and
just
just
starts sticking it.
stabbing
Yeah.
the
shit out
Yeah.
of him, man.
That's insane. And
Just
then you're like,
doing worse.
it's 9 a.m.
Yeah.
This is how I'm starting
Yeah.
my fucking day.
Yeah,
again.
start my day with a cup of coffee and a dude getting shot in the neck.
Yeah.
Well, it's like my wife, always with the fucking murder porn shows. You know what I mean?
Dude,
and
I
I'll
won't
be
watch
like,
him.
we're literally watching these people die on the internet, on
Yeah.
Instagram, and you can't even see a nipple.
right, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Like they censor tattoo pictures and pull them down for nudity.
Yeah.
I just watched a guy get killed.
Literally, yeah. I just saw a video of a random arm floating in the ocean next to a boat, dude.
That one that you're
I
talking
saw that.
Yeah.
the one you're talking about in Egypt where that guy was getting eaten by the shark.
The tiger shark ate him.
Dude, that was so
That was sad.
gnarly, dude.
And there
they're
was a kid
just-
yelling for his dad while he was getting eaten.
Oh,
and
God.
there's and the whoever was filming it's just standing there filming it, like not moving. Did a great job. You're like, how do you do that?
How the fuck?
You know?
Yeah. It's rough, man.
Well, it's no decency.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Yeah.
dude, there's like that old classic story of that kid that got attacked by a shark, and the kid's uncle sees it, and the fucking guy runs into the water, drags the shark out, kills it, and rips the fucking hand out of the fucking shark's stomach and saves him. You're like, that's a fucking uncle, dude.
And that was some
That's a
Australian
uncle.
shit, right?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, that's right. He didn't ask it what the pronouns were before he attacked it. You know? Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. But yeah, that's how we're ending our days and beginning our days now. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Hey, thanks for turning up the music, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful song.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. But my wife will do that shit. She watches every murder show on planet Earth. And then right before I go to sleep, she
good.
goes,
My wife.
She
Same.
goes, hey, today I read a story about these parents that like tortured their kids and burnt cigarettes on them and kept it in a cage. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm falling asleep. I'm like, this is the last thing I have to fucking think about right before my eyes close, you psycho.
I
What are
go
you
home
doing?
at night and I'm getting ready for bed, and Cindy's watching something on TV, and it's like, she came home and sewed him into the mattress, And I was just like, what the hell are you watching?
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
She's like, he used to come home drunk and beat her up, and she finally got him. And I'm like, I don't want. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
watching my ass now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, dude, I already have
Women are-
enough violence
These
floating
chicks are
around in
getting
my head.
they're getting ideas these
Yeah.
days.
At the end of the night, all I'm watching is stand up.
Yeah.
That's it. It's got to be funny or something.
Yeah.
I am not watching murder.
I can't
nothing.
fall asleep to some
No.
dark ass shit.
I hear you there. It's almost like a train wreck, though. You get sucked into it once it
Oh,
starts.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, but at night before I go to bed, I'm not doing it. I
Yeah.
can't do the negativity when I go to sleep, man.
Yeah.
Just can't. And then women wonder why they have such like insane thoughts about everything they're doing.
Yeah.
We can't let the kids walk across the street.
That's
Kids will
how-
be fine.
They'll be fine.
The internet is definitely fucked up.
But also a blessing at the same time.
Yeah,
You know?
it's sweet and sour, and it's also however you control it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You let it control you, or you control it. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about Graham Hancock and all that stuff without the internet.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I might have read Fingerprints of the Gods, but
Yeah.
what are the chances of me getting through that book?
Right.
You know? I have to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Audiobooks are amazing, huh?
Oh,
They
my
really
goodness, dude. They're
They
the
make my
best thing.
commute. They make my commute a lot more mellower.
You been listening to
Yeah.
anything good lately?
So I actually bought some books I'm going to read right now, but I did listen to one recently that I did enjoy.
Yeah.
Paul Stanley read his autobiography, the
really?
audiobook
Really?
of
Is
the
it
story of his version of the birth and where
Kiss. Wow.
And
Really?
I actually did enjoy it quite a
Really?
bit.
Okay.
He reads it himself, so you
Yeah.
hear it in his voice.
That's cool.
And no, just when I was a little kid, man, that was my favorite band.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't really understand a lot of bands at that time. I just knew that I liked the way they looked.
Right.
I liked the fire, the blood,
Yeah.
the costumes.
Yeah.
I was 6 or 7 years old. And it
Totally.
was like that was the shit to
Yeah.
me. I loved it.
Yeah.
I hated them.
Yeah, I always loved them.
Yeah.
And the kid next door's older sister liked Queen and David Bowie. And she used to tell me Kiss sucked every time she saw me. And I was just like, I'm fucking 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, fuck Freddie Mercury. I don't like him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
In the back of my head, I'm like, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I'm not. If I was gonna say I'm a Kiss fan,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop at the Dynasty album and say anything
yeah.
after that, I'll never ever
Yeah.
like.
Well, my dad was so mad when Kiss came out with Dynasty that he stopped listening to music.
There's like
For, like,
there's
30
like three
years.
three good songs on that
Oh
record.
yeah. There's some good ones.
But I mean, as far as like I Was Made for Loving You and stuff, I mean,
Yeah.
every Kiss fan in the world was like,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
done.
Yeah, my dad was the disco sucks guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He was
100%.
so fucking pissed when those bands started doing like disco records. He just stopped listening to music.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm done. Fuck this.
He's like, I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not a Kiss fan. I don't want to hear it at the roller
Yeah.
rink. You know. And
Right? Yeah.
Remember when hip hop came out and I was a big hip hop head, and my dad was just talking shit about hip hop. And then like 5 or 6 years later, he comes down to Washington and he's hanging outside washing his car, and I walk out and he's got Snoop Dogg on. And he's bumping Snoop Dogg while he's working on the car. And I'm like, Dad, I thought
What
you
the
hated
fuck,
hip hop,
bro?
man. What's up? He's like, man, it's Snoop Dogg, son. You know what's up.
You're like, yeah, I do, Dad.
Yeah.
I do. Welcome to the
A
fucking
proud father-son moment.
Yeah. That's so funny. Man.
I gotta say, I probably played that Doggy Style album 8 million times
Oh,
when
yeah.
it came out
Yeah.
because not only was the music good on it, but that shit is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
I
funny.
could not stop laughing. That whole album is funny as fuck.
Yeah. It's great.
DJ, he's a dick.
DJ Easy.
I'm like everything on there
Good.
hilarious as hell.
So good.
Talk about somebody that's lived the dream, man.
I know, right? That fucking guy. It's so crazy. You see that guy, and he has made a whole career of being him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's just so
And
nuts.
coming from being a gangster in Long Beach,
Right, yeah.
you know?
To smoking weed with Martha Stewart. You know what I mean? It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. Fucking JoJo putting final touches.
Fucking
Dude.
lovely music.
I know.
We're listening to the fucking Monkeys right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like, yeah.
That's it's a tattoo convention. No, it's better than Getting Jiggy with It, which was Friday night's selection. That shit.
What, you don't like to get jiggy, dude?
No, I don't. Oh wow!
Oh, we're back to the Wizards.
Now we're back
again.
to this shit.
Yeah.
Fucking guy.
Yeah. We're
Never mind. Don't get him a mic.
Yeah. He's gonna get you canceled pretty quick, dude.
Oh, Jesus, criminy.
Is this now we're gonna listen to Simon and
shoot me in the
Garfunkel
fucking face, please.
with a trank gun?
Kill
myself.
Why I'm getting a tattoo.
Wow.
Talk about the voice of a generation, huh?
Man, he's got the voice of an angel.
Right.
It's like Fergie and Jesus.
Yeah. When I worked at Salzer's, dude, I was like such an indignant metalhead. You know what I mean? Like I made this giant fucking name tag that had Bowie on it. It said I hate David Bowie, and you would watch people come in and just be like, "You fucking hate David Bowie." I'm like, "Yeah, he sucks, dude." And I mean, I get in arguments with people and it's like I really like David Bowie. I always liked him, you know. But just to get some to get all mad at you.
Yeah, were you promoting the album?
Oh yeah, you know what I mean? It's just fucking Ziggy Stardust. It just goes fuck David Bowie. People be like, "Dude, how can you hate David Bowie?" I'm like, I don't know, man. How can you like him? You know?
How can you like him? I bought some books I've been reading.
Oh yeah, what'd you get?
I bought a couple books from Henry Rollins recently.
Oh really?
He's got the one out called Sick.
Okay.
SIC.
Okay.
It's pretty intense, dude.
Really?
He's an intense kind of guy.
He's basically just I feel like he's just putting events and thoughts on paper.
Right.
But it's really
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah.
And then I got that get in the van.
Oh yeah.
On
Have
Road
you
Black.
ever read that?
No, I'm sorry.
it's
I just
great,
got
dude.
it. I'm
Yeah.
really excited about it.
That was a staple back in the day, dude. It's Henry Rollins' touring like diary from when he was in Black Flag, and it's just fucking what they were doing, and he's a fucking savage, dude. But that was like the punk rock fucking staple back in the day, dude. Yeah, but he's such a fucking crazy, you know. Of all the people that you wouldn't have think would have been so prolific, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's grown into something that's totally.
Yeah, I've
weird,
always
like,
been a
crazy
fan, and when
now.
that first Rollins Band album
Oh, yeah.
came out, I was into it, and then I loved all the Rollins albums.
Yeah.
So, I liked him. You know, people hated him in Black Flag, and
Oh,
I was a fan of that.
You know,
era.
I hated Rollins Black Flag just because it was the thing, and then I sat down and listened to My War, like one day, and went, "This is the best version of Black Flag ever." You know what I
Dude,
mean? I was like, "Fuck." Henry Rollins is my favorite singer for Black Flag.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, Six Pack,
Oh, so good, dude.
and he kills it.
Yeah, it's great. You know.
But I also love, like Family Man, Slip It
Right.
In. I mean, those are intense fucking albums,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Loose Nut,
Yeah, dude, that's a
Black
crazy one.
Coffee.
Yeah, Black
These are all
Coffee.
just insane.
Black Coffee.
I mean, it's great shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's if you're listening to that and you're not like fucking feeling a little bit of rage,
Yeah.
you're not listening at all.
Yeah, he had
That's-
that shit down, dude. But he's such a soft, considerate person. You know, when you hear him talk now, he does all this spoken.
It's like an alter
I
ego.
love
It's
listening to
weird,
him
man.
talk.
You know?
You saw a shirt I had on yesterday. It said part animal, part machine, right?
Oh,
I was wearing
notice.
his shirt yesterday.
Okay, hell yeah.
I mean, I've always been kind of a dorky Henry Rollins fan.
Thank you, JoJo, for doing this, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on. It was
Dude,
a lot of
It
fun.
was awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Love talking to you guys.
Absolutely,
We
dude.
have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, check out
Seriously, man.
Check out 10,000 Waves shop, Sherman Oaks. Check out JoJo. Every artist, Robert, every artist there is a fucking killer. Thanks to the Seaside Tattoo Show. Thank you, Christina, for letting us come in here and take up some space. Thank you to Robert for being nice to us, for letting us take up some space. And
Love you guys.
we'll see you
Peace
on the
out.
next one, dude. Later.